Welcome to Vine. Welcome to Golden Mission 144, where the new moon energy is shedding so much light to the divine feminine and the divine masculine. I hope you guys were able to check out the divine feminine reading. Oh my goodness. It was good. I played it back myself. I think I asked at the end, I said, what did I say? Then I went and played it back myself and I said, oh, that was good. So we definitely want to do gratitude there for that message. You guys check it out. The DF is really turning that pain into gains, the pain from the Twinflame journey. It's a very beautiful read. Interesting enough, I am not surprised with the reading of the divine feminine that the divine masculine reading looks as it does. We are going to go in and grab clear sight, clarity, confidence, and consistency. And a message to stand steady for manifestations here on this planet. As you guys are learning how to balance and align. It is the key factor in the law of attraction. Without this ability, there'll be many ups and downs. Many roller coasters, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. Those are all necessary for soul's growth. But there does get to be a harvest season. There does get to be a promise season. And for those who have endured and have learned through those roller coasters and those ups and downs, how to now be steady and balanced, you are now receiving a new direction and a new teaching that you will gather from those who deliver you messages. You will begin to hear a newer message, okay? From a higher perspective. Why? Because it's where you are. You're on an ascendant level. So knowing how the divine feminine looked, we now know where the divine masculine energy is. So in pulling this spread, I said, wow. So that reading over there, divine feminine, if you don't know what detached looks like, that's it. Okay? That is detached. Detached may not be what you think it is if there's a struggle there. There's also a course down below to support you on your journey if there is a struggle there. So let's get right on in so we can see what the effects of that is on the masculine energy. We start out with the Six of Cups. Now the Six of Cups, you guys know, when we get this, it will be kind of like that memories of the past. But we're starting out in the beginning, which there is also another meaning of the Six of Cups, which is that new knowledge, new relations, new environment. So what I'm actually getting in this reading is that both of them, I'm getting both of them, or almost like that little meme that kind of went around. It's like both of them. So I'm kind of getting that coming through where it's look, the divine masculine energy is conscious of the past and conscious of the new knowledge. Well, you know what that is when you get to that place. That is being able to have that dimensional placement. Those are divine moves, okay? Those are divine moves. So the divine masculine energy is sitting right here, starting out in the reading, in the reflection of past memories and holding their new knowledge, new relations, and new environment. There's that music. We know exactly what we're talking about. That's our nod with gratitude there. It clarifies with the new beginnings, standing on top of the world, looking over. So that's how we know. We received 2 clarifiers, one with the second card presentation of new beginning, and 2 with our music that met us to light that flame up for us. So we're starting out the reading right here, knowing that the divine masculine energy is in a new place. This is new energy. What that means for you divine masculines is that you are recognizing that you are not the same, okay? Hugs to you, divine masculine energy. This is a beautiful place to be in, but it is known that this placement is a little bit startling. It's almost like, okay, why am I so thoughtful? Why am I so thoughtful of my life and what I have going on? Is what I have with the divine masculine energy. They're not used to their life being on display in front of them. So it's like this is when that divine nature meets that masculine. So they're like, oh my goodness, I have my past moves, then I have my new moves, and it's like, yes, this is our point of choicing. And therefore, life isn't haphazard. This is our point of choicing. This is your point of your free will, but this is your divine gifting to be able to see from the dimensional places of both of them being placed before you. Beautiful divine masculine, beautiful. Okay, so let's go into this and get a story out of this so we'll know what's really happening here. So we go in with the Knight of Wands, and we know that the Wands is our action placement. So we definitely know things are going on with the masculine energy and it's live. These are live movements with the divine masculine energy. So expect some confirmations. Expect the confirmations around you. With the Knight of Wands going in here, this is that, okay, a departure, and then there's a change of residence. So you see kind of like the turning around of the direction. And yes, it can be a change of residence in the way that we've had the masculine energy read and change of residences before, and we had masculines come before and say, hey, I just moved to this different state, this different place, this different that. So I am getting that, yes, this can be a motion of change of residence for the divine masculine energy. That seems to be something that the masculine energy does do. And we know our masculine energy is our action focus, so that would be the part of us that pulls that in and says, let's go, okay? So we do have change of resonance there, but it's deeper than that is what I'm getting. You know, it's like, yeah, it's deeper than that, because we go down to the position of hope being the clarifier. But it's like that light, and in that light, you can see the lighting of man right there, the figure of man in the middle of the light. So it's like the divine masculine energy has actually departed and changed into a new position of being. So you can actually see them engulfed in that light, and that's that divine nature that I was actually telling you about that was coming in the beginning with them being able to see that dimensional space that we move in. So they're like, okay, I am seeing things. And this is even for your divine masculines who don't have any awareness of the metaphysical terminologies. If you are a divine, you are going to embody a divine nature. And at some point in time, the divine part of you is going to need to be utilized. Because that's the point, you know? Otherwise, you wouldn't need to be a divine being. So this is for even those divine masculines who were like, okay, well, I know that I have something with me, but I don't have full clarity as to what this thing is. So I'm going to go on and act and be like a regular masculine because I really don't know what to do with that there. But every now and then, there's a conversation that goes into that divine nature. or a statement or a saying that goes into that divine nature. Well, see, here's a full embodiment here, a full embodiment in the light coming in and clarify, and that seems to be the direction that the Knight of Wands is saying that the divine masculine energy has turned into. They have turned into the direction of that embodiment of that full dosing of that light. So that kind of lets us know and explaining as to why the divine masculine energy is able to see what they are able to see in their life review now. They're able to see everything. And they weren't able to see everything before. So it's almost like the masculine energy was making moves and everybody's looking like, why? Is what I'm getting. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Is what's coming so strongly. And the divine masculine energy is like, oh, what do you mean? You know, why wouldn't I do that? And there just wasn't harmony. There wasn't harmony in the worlds of the masculine energy. And it's simply because the divine masculine energy's divine nature of being able to have that clear sight was not placed before the divine masculine. So it would look like, you know how it presents before you where you can see your actions, which is your new, and then you can also see your past actions to reflect on them, which brings me right to that divine feminine reading where they're reflecting, the reflection and the imagination period of the divine feminine is being mirrored right here in the divine masculine energy. So they're like, now they're able to see everything put before them as to what their options really are. So it's like, man, I can make choices that are really good for me because I can see it. So it's like now the divine masculine energy has went from the place of, okay, it's not just that I feel it, you know, it's not just that knowing or that feeling. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm having clear sight. I'm seeing that if I make this move, it leads to this. If I make this move, it leads to this. What is this? Like, I really know, I really know if I go down this road, I'm going to F up. You know, I'm really getting like, excuse the French, but you got to say it just like that, you know? So they're like, I really know if I go down that path, that is what's going to happen. If I go down there, that's what's going to happen. But before the divine masculine energy is showing that I would only get like a little bit, almost like you can see like a wave as to what's down the path, but you can't have that clear sight as to if I open this door and step out here, it's going to lead me into this place of mental, emotional, and physical spacing. The divine masculine energy is saying that is not, that's not the case anymore. When they open the door, they're able to see that entire journey. And the reason that that's coming, I'm getting from the divine masculine energy, is because they're actually able to see their own journey now. So they're able to sit within their own lives and see clearly their own journey and the pain points that they actually had in their journey. This is mirroring the DF. Divine masculine energy. Make sure you check out that divine feminine, because you know that's your other side that you're balancing. And so the divine masculine energy is able to see like, dang, that's how I got in that mess. That's how I got in that mess. That's how I got in the mess. And then now they're able to look and say, oh, you are another version of that mess. You are another version of that mess. So they have that clear sight. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. That divine nature is, whoo, way to go. So then we come in with the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups, new application, okay? So the Page of Cups is a new application. So that lets us know we know exactly what we're talking about. New application of what? What's the clarifier? Like, new application. New application of light. So this is how the divine masculine energy has ascended to the ability to be able to have some divine sight when it comes to the choice and the moves. So now the decision basis, and I'm also getting strongly, like right there when I was interrupted in sentence, what's coming out so strongly is that the divine masculine energy was honest. They were honest about a lot of the things that they were doing because they weren't getting the full clear sight view. So what that looks like is that the divine masculine energy was susceptible to a lot of manipulation. And the reason the divine masculine energy was susceptible to a lot of manipulation is because they didn't get the full clear sight. So they were very trusting of those that they would associate with. So it's almost like in that present moment, the divine masculine energy could be in the present moment like that. And the divine feminine energy was in the present moment, the past moment, the future moment. Wait a minute. But the present moment was momentary. A lot of times when they would hook in with their masculine energy. But be in the past, be in the future, all of these different places, really living out their multidimensional nature, but to the point that the divine feminine energy would be off balance quite a bit. Well, the divine masculine energy was set in the present. They already knew how to live in the present. So they'd be like, why didn't you think about that? Or what do you think about this? And they're like, here, now. Here, now. You know, it's what's going. So there wasn't a lot of reflection happening, and there wasn't a lot of the imagination happening. So what that means was there wasn't a lot of the co-creation happening with the divine masculine energy in a conscious fashion. So they would literally in the moment say yes to who or whatever in the present moment without having that clear sight that was necessary to make those decisions to the best of the ability. We come in now with the King of Wands, and let me tell you, you know what the King of Wands is? King of Wands is that honest, conscientious. That's what King of Wands is. That honest, conscientious king that comes in. And look at this. This is what I was telling you. Recognition and reward. It's like, look, the divine masculine energy has not been what the divine masculine energy has been perceived to be. The divine masculine energy had limited ability of having their divine sight. So therefore, the divine masculine energy did a lot of trusting and was aligning to a lot of people. They trusted a lot of the feminine energy. The feminine energy was dominant in the intuition side, okay? Reason being because that is the side where it just naturally aligns with intuition, is one of the product points of the divine feminine energy. So the divine masculine, assuming that they just did not have that feminine energy side of them, would align to feminine energy outside of them. And in aligning to the feminine energy outside of them, whether it be mother, grandmother, aunt, lover, wife, spouse, girlfriend, baby's mother, mentor, whoever she is or she was, there was a lot of trust that was put in there. And it brings me to that proverb scripture when it warns of the feminine. And you'll notice when you go back to the Christianity religion, and it's listed throughout the Bible, there's always warnings of the feminine. There's not warnings of the masculine, it's warning of the feminine. Ability to harm the masculine. And if you go and you read in those different stories, you'll kind of hear of that. And it's just like, you know, that her ways can lead you to the grave. And really what this is because the feminine does hold that intuitive side, but without the masculine knowing that they have their own, they would be susceptible to those who would not have their best interest in heart. Yeah, you hear that music go up. So we were right in there. And look, right. What is this? What is the card that comes? Three of Swords right in the heart. So this is what happens, where the divine masculine energy would get into all of these heart conniptions. It's like they were looking for who they could trust, honestly, you know. really wanting to align with that feminine energy, because the masculine energy knew it needed that feminine energy. And whether it didn't align right with the mother situation, or either it did and then there was a need for furthering in life. But being able to tap into themselves, tap into their own emotional center, and really began to tap into that intuition and their divine side of them that allows them to be balanced in and have that masculine and feminine within inside of themselves, they're starting to recognize some things. And look, this is the clarifier. You see that mental conflict? This is where the mental conflict was coming from, because the divine masculine energy was trying to deal with everything within the head slain at the heart. Everything in the head slain at the heart. So they weren't necessarily receiving the guidance that was necessary for them to make the decisions that work for them. Now they're in a position where a light is being radiated within, and they are utilizing their hearts. Okay, they're utilizing their heart spacing. They are utilizing that emotional center. They are tapping into their intuition. You know, what do I want? What do I need? What is for me? What do I want? What do I need? What is for me? Seems to be coming in strongly for the divine masculine energy. And in doing so, it seems as if the divine masculine energy has recognized. See, this right here is absent of, you know, and this is, you know, those delays and, you know, those desperations, all kinds of things that come up whenever you're kind of slain at the heart. Your heart is not used. You have so many things that are weighing you down, and it brings you into those strong places of mental conflict. Well, the divine masculine energy is starting to recognize that it's absence of that is what leads to this, is what leads to the Four of Wands, is what leads to that celebration of that divine union, where they actually have that partnership of who they can actually trust. And it's no longer being in a placement of being manipulated by the feminine energy outside of them. The divine masculine energy is learning to go within to the light. They're using a new application when it comes to making decisions about how they unite, how they come into union. And in going within, and look, what is that clarifier? Look, right there being highlighted is that heart chakra. Going within and tapping into their spiritual nature is how they grow. You see that fertility? That is how they grow. That is how they grow and get their Four of Wands, where they actually have everything. You know, that's our card. That's our Twinflame card, where you have that union, you have that abundance, you have everything. They're recognizing the power within themselves. The divine masculine energy that I'm getting on this planet, they were not looked at as having that divine power within themselves in this route. For some reason, they did not know it came from the emotion center. They didn't know that the communication from the divine came from the emotion center. And the masculine energy was instructed to cut off the emotion center. And now they're like, now that they're tapped into their emotions, they're also being intuitively guided and being shown these divine paths and routes that they did not know. And life is becoming clear. They're receiving clarity. The bottom of the deck right there is celebration, Three of Cups. They are in a good spacing in their life when it comes to seeing things. But look, what comes right after that? Also with the despair, same as the divine feminine, because they're still looking over their life in the past, and they're also looking at the new application. It's like, dang it, I can see clearly now the moves I made and why it led to what it led to. And that's that dissatisfaction. I'm telling you, I'm getting a read coming right in. And then that's dissatisfaction with what the divine masculine energy has built, the pinnacles that they actually have, what they have sustained right now. I'm going to put this down. But even with the hermit, look, going in with the light. So it's like now they're looking at everything from the light spacing, and they're able to shed light on everything from the past and the present. And the divine masculine energy is seeing things from that multi-dimensional layer, which means that I can be up here in a new application, and I can also look in that lower dimension and see how I got to where I got to, and I can also make sure I step this way so I don't even take that other path. But I'm looking now at where I am. I'm looking, and look, there is that reflection and imagination. I'm looking at where I am and what it is that I want now. Same as the divine feminine reading that we just did. So mirroring definitely with the divine masculine energy. And here we go in the emotional space communicating to us. I create what I choose naturally with joy. The divine masculine energy has recognized that I got a role in this. I have a role in my life. I have a role in this. I have a role in my life. I don't have to align with the feminine energy outside of me and they dictate the role of my life. I dictate the role of my life, and the divine actually tells me how to do it. I'm not lost anymore. I can see. I accept my situation without resistance. They're able to sit in the present moment, accept it without resistance, seeing what's next for them, seeing how they got where they've gotten to, and seeing how to not make that move again. I trust my ideas and my direction. They know that they have a new direction that they're able to move into. And they're not worried anymore. Now, yes, they do have the despair that comes in the same as the divine feminine. So the divine masculine, you might find that you are tired and sometimes a little bit sober because you're looking over your life and you're like, dang it, I did not have to go to these different places. But don't look at it like that. Look at it in the way of, right here, what the stag says. Trust and thrive, divine masculine energy. Trust and thrive. It was necessary as your footstool to be at the ascended level that you are now. You have goodies and gold that you will be able to see from every situation that you found your foot in. So it's trust and thrive, trust and thrive. Don't worry about that past. Enjoy the sight and the light that you have now. And when you feel that somber or that despair, allow yourself to be there. But it looks like divine masculine energy does have the divine initiation view of dimensional sight for choices and ways that serve them. Beautiful. The golden mission. The golden mission is union. Union within self, then union with others. Check out my other channel. It has 1111 Ascension keys. It's really the golden mission 1111. To support you, divine masculine, as you are activating and ascending in your divine nature. Wonderful.